If you're socially anxious, you must watch this Oscar-nominated animated short Burrow. A little rabbit was digging a tiny home for herself. After measuring the dimensions, she took out her blueprint from her bag. It was just a small single room, simple as it looked. The little rabbit loved it dearly. Just then, a mole crawled over. He greeted the rabbit very warmly. He took out his own blueprint to share with her. His house was a large 2-bedroom, 1-living-room apartment. It was built right next door to the rabbit's, and it was almost finished. Timidly, the little rabbit held up her own blueprint. Looking at her simple design, she felt deeply inferior. But just at that moment, a tiny mouse crawled over too. He also eagerly shared his blueprint with everyone. His house was a luxurious 6-bedroom mansion. It housed his entire big family, and it was also right next to the rabbit's. Now the little rabbit felt even more inferior. She hugged her blueprint tight, not letting anyone see it. She was afraid of being laughed at. She quickly grabbed her shovel and ran away. She wanted to dig deeper, far away from everyone, but she accidentally broke into a hedgehog's home. The kind hedgehogs offered her delicious cookies, but the flustered rabbit just kept apologizing. She immediately turned and fled again. She kept digging downward, desperately trying to find a quiet, isolated spot, a place all her own with no one else around. She always ended up in someone else's burrow. She even crashed into an ant's banquet hall. The ants raised their glasses to welcome her. She just kept digging and digging. Finally, she thought she'd escaped everyone, but as she fell, her shovel snapped in two. The rabbit had no choice but to ask for help. She plucked up the courage to knock on a nearby door, but suddenly a fierce roar came from inside. Scared, the rabbit turned and ran away. She kept digging with her broken shovel until she couldn't hear any more noise. Exhausted, she finally stopped. She took out her blueprint again. Simple as it was still her dream home. Calming down, she picked up her broken shovel and began to dig. But with one swing, the wall cracked open. The crack spread all the way to an underground river. Before long, water burst through the hole. Her only light was destroyed. After grabbing her precious blueprint, the rabbit tried to block the water with her body. But it was no use at all. As the crack grew wider, the tremors even reached the surface. With water rising fast around her, the rabbit finally realized she couldn't do it alone. She quickly climbed back up the tunnels. She mustered all her courage and knocked on the door of the animal that had roared earlier. She told the badger about the underground river she'd accidentally broken into. Then she sat down helpless, filled with self-blame and regret, waiting for the adult to scold her. But instead, the badger picked up the rabbit's blueprint and handed it back to her. Then he let out a loud roar. The sound traveled through all the tunnels to the animals above, receiving the signal. All the animals came to help, bringing tools. Suddenly seeing so many animals, the rabbit instinctively backed away, but Mr. Badger gently pushed her forward. She finally found her courage. She led everyone to the flooded area. Working together, they quickly dug a new channel. They diverted the underground water into a nearby stream. Everyone cheered happily together. The rabbit stared at the stream, deep in thought. Suddenly, she picked up her blueprint. She showed them her blueprint proudly. The mouse kindly took out his pen again. With everyone's help, her new home was finally built, based on her original design, but now with several extra rooms. From that day on, the little rabbit was no longer socially anxious, and she gained many warm and caring friends.